Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I hope that you all are doing fine. Today we'll have subject and predicates from the grade 6. So first of all, you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. Click on your name, go to language arts, click on grade 6, scroll down to subject and predicates. We have these two lessons for today. Identify the complete subject or complete predicate of a sentence. Identify the simple subject or simple predicate of a sentence. Hi, everyone on the chats. Hi. Okay, so first of all, every sentence has a complete subject and a complete predicate. So you need to note every sentence has a complete subject and complete predicate. So that is what makes up the sentence. Without the subject, without the predicate, the sentence would be incomplete, okay? So the complete subject tells who or what is doing something. So complete subjects. Okay, so it tells us who is doing something in the sentence or what is doing something. So who and what. Okay, so it is the simple subject plus any other word that describes or modifies it. So it is the simple subject plus any other word that gives it like more explanation. Simple sentences, okay? Just take note of that. Then she sleeps late on the weekend. So we also have her best friend sleeps late on the weekends. Now, the complete subject tells who sleeps late on the weekend. Now, the complete subject is what? Who is sleeping late on the weekend? Now, if we check here, she is the complete subject. Okay, so she is the subject, and then her best friend also subject. So her best friend also tells us that that is who is sleeping late during the weekends. All right. Okay. So, for example, we have an example. The dog ran. So, we have the dog ran through the yard. Okay. Now, when we say the dog ran through the yard, you can ask yourself, what is the subject here? Who is running through the yard? It has to be the dog. So the dog is the subject. Okay. So we also have what we call the predicates. What we just did up above is the subject. So talking about the predicates, it tells who. Okay, so the predicate tells us what the subject is doing. So if we have the subject doing something, if you want to know what the subject is doing, it has to be through the predicates, okay? So it is a simple predicate plus any other words that describes or modifies it. For example, we have her best friend sleeps. So remember now, if we say what is her best friend doing, her best friend is what, sleeping. So best friend would be the word, the predicate, and then sleeps would be the predicate, and best friend would be what, the subject. So that's how you describe it, okay? The predicate is just like the verb, the action word, doing word that tells us what is going on in the sentence. Without the predicate, you cannot know what the best friend or what the subject is doing. So this will give us more information. Then we have also her best friend sleeps late on the weekends. So who sleeps late on the weekend? Her best friend. And then if you just say her best friend, what is the best friend doing? You need a balance. So you say the best friend sleeps late on the weekend. So the complete predicate tells us what the best friend does. So just like when we had the sentence, the dog, so we had this one, the dog ran through the yard. So we had this example. So now remember that we said the dog is the subject, right? So ran through the yard is the predicate because it describes what the dog is doing. Without the predicate, we will not know what the dog is doing. So the predicate tells us that this is what the dog is doing. So moving on, we have also here, every sentence has a subject and a predicate. Of course, we've talked about it up above. We know this. Now, we did the complete predicate and complete subject. The simple subject tells who or what is doing something. It is just the subject, noun, or pronoun. So, the simple subject could be subject, noun, or pronoun. Okay, so that is what the simple subject means in the sentence. It could be a noun or it could be a pronoun without any other words that describes or modifies it. Okay, so when it comes to the simple subject, it tells who or what is doing something. It is the subject, noun, or pronoun without any other words that modifies it. Jennifer sleeps late on the weekend. So if you want to figure out the simple subject here, it has to be Jennifer because Jennifer is the noun there. So without any other word that modifies it. And then we also have her best friend sleeps late on the weekend. So only her best friend. Mrs. Peterson sleeps late on the weekend. So this subject. Now the simple subject tells who sleeps late on the weekend. All this subject, Jennifer, her best friend, Mrs. Peterson. It tells us who is sleeping late on the weekend. The simple predicate tells what the subject is doing. So here, what is the subject doing? Sleeping late on the weekend. It is just the verb without any other words that modifies or describes it. So we have sleeps late on the weekend. So sleeps late on the weekend will have to be the verb, okay? So sleep, the verb. Okay. Now the simple predicate tells what her best friend does. So in general, when you say the subject, so when you say the simple subject, you're just talking about noun or pronoun. Then when you say simple predicates, you're just talking about the verb. And of course, in every sentence, you need to have a subject and you need to have a verb. So this is the balance of each sentence. Okay? So moving on, let's do some activity. If you're here, you can share your answers on the chat. Okay? Okay, so please try to participate. Share your answers on the chat so that I know that you guys understand what is going on. So we have some sentences here. First, we have the students are studying for their test. So we have the question. Then we have the second one. My mom baked cookies yesterday. So you have to tell the subject and then the predicates. Then we have the last, which is my cat jumped onto the windowsill. Okay, so the subjects and predicates. So you have to tell me on the chat if you're here. Just type in your answers on the chat. The first one is the students are studying for their test. So, what is the subject in that particular question and what is the predicate? Hi, how are you? So let's interact, okay? Tell me what is the subject in number one and what is the predicates, okay? So if you know, share your answers with me so that I'm certain that you understand, all right? So the subject here will be the students, and then what? The predicate studying, because that's the verb, right? Then who baked the cake? My mom. And then baked the predicates. Then the subjects would be my cart. And what did the cat do? Jumped. Okay, so this is how it works. All right, you have the subject, you have the predicate. Subject tells what is going on in the sentence, and predicate tells us what the subject is doing. All right, so moving on here, we have select the five words that make up the complete predicates. Jacob and Emma waved from across the room. So five words that make up the predicates. So it would be what? Wave from across the room. All right. So it's like the other part of the sentence aside from Jacob and Emma. Then we have select two words that make up the complete subject. Two words that make up the subject. The correspondent filed a story from Somalia about the food shortage. So we have, okay, so we have what? Two words here that make up the subject. What is the two words that make up the subject? The correspondent. So we have select two words that make up complete subject. Mother Teresa devoted her life to the poor and sick. Now, what is the subject, Mother Teresa? So moving on to the test, you have to send in your answers on the chat. Okay. So select the three words that make up the complete subject. What three word makes up the complete subject here? The band members caused confusion by arriving at the venue early. So what is the three words that make up the complete subject here? Okay, thank you. So we have the band members. Good job. So for this one, it says select six words that make up the complete predicate. A bad business deal caused friction between the two brothers. So what is the predicate here? Okay. So we have also caused friction between the two brothers. So from here, it's the six words. And then this part here is what? The subject. So this part, the ending part is the predicate. So we have adults, coax, hunt, deer, and other mammals. So we have adult cougars hunt deer and other mammals. So what is the two words that make up the subjects? So we have the first one. Okay. Okay, thanks. All right, we have Debbie poured sand through a plastic funnel. So six words that make up the predicate. Okay, so we have pour sand through a plastic funnel. So it has to be purse because purse here is the verb that tells us what Debbie is doing. So it's like select the four words that make up the complete predicates. Four words. My family enjoys having lively debates. So my family enjoys having lively debates. So what is the four words that make up the predicates here? Enjoys having lively debate or family enjoys having lively. What is the four words? You can share if you know. Okay, so the first one enjoys having lively debates. Okay, so yeah, we also have select the five words that make up the complete predicates. Five words. Croatia declared its independence in 1991. Really? So, what is the five words that make up the predicates? You can share. Okay. All right. So one. Okay. Good. So my fearless friend flies down the ramp on her skateboard. So three words that that make up the complete subject. What are the three words here? Which one? Okay, so it's going to be my fearless friend. The first one. Okay, my fearless friend. All right. So that's it for this one that has the identify complete subject or complete predicate. If you've not done this lesson, you can make sure that you complete that. Moving on to the next one that says simple subject, simple predicate of a sentence. So we have select the simple predicate. The crowded passenger train stopped. So what is the simple predicate here? Stopped, because that is the verb. So it's telling us what the crowded passenger train did. Then we have select the simple subject. I limit my time watching television each day. So who is limiting their time? It has to be I. So it tells us who limits time watching TV. Select the simple subject. The narrator speaks in a low voice. So simple subject. Who is speaking in the low voice? It is the narrator. So moving on to the test. You can share your answers. Select the simple predicate. A true professional arrived at work on time. So, a true professional arrives at work on time. What is the simple predicate here? Which one? So, we have what? Arrives. Okay, so arrive would be the predicate. So, arrive. Okay, good. Thank you for your answers. So, the snake by the rock pile retreated. The snake by the rock pile retreated. So, which one? Predicates. What did the snake do? So two, which is retreated. So simple predicates. Victor wipes the perspiration from his brow. So Victor wiped the perspiration from his brow. So which one? Wipes or Victor? What is the predicate here? Okay, this is also two, so wipes. All right. So also the predicates, he received a promotion after 3 months on the job. What is a predicate here? Received or a? Okay, so received. Then that is the predicate. So we also have here the simple predicate. The pink hand lotion spilled. The pink hand lotion spilled. So what is the predicate? Lotion or spilled? Which one is the correct one here? Okay, so spilled. All right. So we also have select the simple subject. The ship's navigator closely monitored the weather. Now the subject. The ship's navigator closely monitored the weather. Okay, so navigator. All right. So a monstrous storm was brewing in the Gulf. So simple subject here. A monstrous storm was brewing in the Gulf. Okay, so storm, all right? Okay. Also the simple subject, Bruce woke up from a nightmare. So which one here? Okay, so option 1. All right, so that's it for like subject and predicates. We still have one more lesson of which we will be completing in our next class. We'll finish the last lesson. Let me know on the chats. Do you have any question concerning this one and what we did today? If you have any question, you can ask me. And if you still need more help, you can also click on the chat button here. If you click on here, you get more help after this live. That's if you still need more help. Okay. So yes, just let me know on the chat if you have any questions. Okay, so you have no questions, right? Okay, so we'll end here for today and I'll see you all next time. I hope that you all have a good evening. Take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye, guys.